Serious, what secret could destroy your life if it got out? Brought a knife to school to kill a kid, couldn't do it. I was a very angry, very lonely kid for a long time. That sort of piled up into an uncontrollable rage sometimes, and decided I had enough. At the end of school, I saw him on the playground. I still had the knife in my pocket, but my dad miraculously saw me from the parking lot. I didn't get to do it. Then I realized my mistake. Wow, actually made it to the top of the dark secrets thread. Damn. Right, time for some real shit. I am also you fat damn girl, and this isn't even the tip of the iceberg for me. I could go all day long. No. I am not Dexter fucking Morgan. Don't need to keep quizzing me about it. Oh yeah, and for those of you curious of my other accounts, fucked up heavy metal music, another thing I've been hearing a lot of, it would be something like this music video. Used to cut myself to that video. Now when I see it, I only feel a wave of fear and regret. Also, it had to have violence or satanic imagery in it for me to watch or listen to, before you ask. Still not Dexter, nice try. I often wonk to pictures of many of my female friends' photos on Facebook. It's probably not entirely uncommon, but if any of them were to find out, there's a very good chance I would lose damage many close relationships I have. I live in comfort knowing the rest of Reddit does this as well. We're a bunch of sick fucks.
Hey guys, much like you, I love reading people's stories on Ask Reddit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of weird middle school level, just thought experiment type hypotheticals like nice try Baskin Robbins. I don't find this compelling, so that's why I've made it my mission to trawl and crawl through Ask Reddit and find the very best content and put it in your ears. That's why I'm begging you, like and subscribe. If there's anything I can do to help you out, give you the kind of content that you crave to help you get through your workday, let me know in a comment. But please like and subscribe.
To all the gay people in this thread, it really does get better. 17 years ago, I could have posted that the secret that could destroy my life was that I was a lesbian. I was 100% sure I'd kill myself if anyone ever found out. I was 100% sure that my parents would be completely destroyed and that my relationship with my parents would be ended. 17 years later, I'm out to everyone I know and getting married later this year. My life remains undestroyed. Throwaway account since pretty much everyone I know is on Reddit, and this would ruin a lot of my good friendships if anyone found out. Okay, so actually this is not a bad secret, but 6 years ago when I was 14 years old, I decided to buy $4 worth of Iraqi dinars, and also $200 worth of bitcoins. I didn't know shit about any of those things, but I read somewhere on the internet that there was a big upside potential for both of them. Well, today the Iraqi dinars are worth nothing, but the bitcoins that I bought was worth 600 USD when I sold them. I had exactly 4,000 of them, so I sold them for about $24 million. A lot of people would tell me that I am extremely lucky, which I probably am, but it actually ruined my life more than it didn't. For the last 2 years, I have been doing nothing but sitting at home playing computer or hanging out with friends, while everyone else is studying, working, etc. I literally don't want to do any kind of work other than sitting in front of my computer or watching movies with my friends. I have become the most lazy person in the world, and I literally feel like there is no purpose for me anymore, since I have always figured out that I needed a job so I could get a big income and then enjoy the rest of my life. Well, now here I am. I have always been a huge fan of wealth, and since I achieved it somehow, I don't want to accomplish anything at all. I have become pretty depressed by being so much alone, and I don't know why, but I never told any living being about how rich I indeed am. Not even my parents. Every single day I think about killing myself, how great it would be, all my problems gone in an instant. Now, I am in therapy for depression, but I don't share those thoughts for fear of being institutionalized, even briefly, as a danger to myself. I don't think I'm a danger to myself. I've had those thoughts for quite a while without swallowing pills or a shotgun. I failed out of college and didn't tell anyone. I lied about still being in school and pretended to go to classes. My parents still thought they were paying for my college. That is the worst part of this whole thing. I wasted 6 months and a good 5,000 if not more. Thanks everyone for your responses. It's good to know that I'm not the only one who has messed up. In response to a lot of questions, my parents found out about everything when my mom was trying to get my health insurance taken care of, and the insurance said that I wasn't enrolled in school. This was 5 years ago. I have since paid my parents back for the money they spent, went to community college, transferred to a 4-year, and am now about to graduate with my BS. I'll jump on the cousin humping train. My cousin is a guy I lived next door to my whole life, and we are the same age, and besides both being physically attractive, we are so mentally compatible. We were best friends growing up, spent every night hanging out together, and since we both had oblivious parents who paid no attention to us, by 8th grade I just stopped coming home when our movie time was over, and just slept the night in his bed. A couple years later those sleepovers got rated 13. Or maybe, or I don't know how ratings work. My mom even noticed it one time, the chemistry we had, and said that if we decided to be together she would not judge because she already loved him like a son. But that shit is too complicated. I fell in love with someone else, and he has an amazing girlfriend. He served in our wedding and she actually caught my bouquet. We have never, ever crossed the line since we started dating other people, and I don't think either of us will tell our significant others because it would do no good. He has made it clear he doesn't want to know anything about guys I was with before him, so I consider that to include my cousin. If we hadn't been cousins, but just neighbors, I'd probably be laying next to him right now instead of my spouse, but I'm really glad he was related to me because I ended up with an amazing man. I can't stop myself from lying. Half the time I lie about things that don't matter and should have just told the truth, but I can't stop myself from doing it. All the lies I've told, big and small, all catch up to at one point or another and are seriously damaging my life. My parents and brother don't trust me at all anymore because I've done some incredibly stupid things and lied about them. I've also had to do things or tell bigger lies to cover what started out as a little white lie. Other people around me that have caught me in a lie don't know how to act around me anymore. I know I need to stop, and I am trying, but the more I try to stop doing it, the more I do it. This is slowly destroying my life and my relationship with my family, and there is nothing I can about it. This should be posted again. Just cause depression hotline 1-630-480-9000. Suicide hotline 1-800-784-8000. Lifeline 1-800-273-8000. Trevor Project 1-866-488-7000. Sexuality Support 1-800-246-7000. Eating Disorders Hotline 1-800-47-831-3000. Rape and Sexual Assault 1-800-656-4000. 673 Grief Support 1-653-121-5000. 272 Runaway 1-800-843-5000. 1-800-843-5000. 678 1-800-621-4000. Exhale After Abortion Hotline. Nipro Voice 1-866-4,394,253. Call if you need them. Please, I have an imaginary friend which happens to be a dragon. I spend a lot of time daydreaming of our little world together. Sometimes I might be flying on his back, other times we may be exploring the forests or something, I don't know. Usually at night until I fall asleep, I imagine that the two of us are in a cave on a cold night, curled up together, snuggled around a warm, toasty fire. It's so childish, stupid, and weird, but honestly, if my imagination is vivid enough during a given session, it makes me really happy and I feel at peace. Writing is a nice outlet, but not enough. I can't really lucid dream either. But hopefully in the future, I will be able to visit the world in my head through virtual reality technology and spend time actually physically being there. So yeah, there's my probably mental illness laid out for the internet to see. Wow. Woke up to see some truly kind replies, some of which made me tear up a little bit. Thank you all so very much. I thought this would get buried, but boy was I wrong. As for some popular questions, I'm 19. His name is Viewer German for fire. I was never good with names, but I thought that sounded pretty cool. Also kind of signifies his warm personality. He's dark green like that of an evergreen tree. A lot of people were saying I should write about it. Well, I actually did. Here's the story. I also have the rough draft for a follow-up story finished, but I need to work on fixing some of the stuff there. I'll try to reply to as many of the replies as I can, but I have classes soon, so I won't get to too many right now. I'll try to get to rest after classes. Wow, you people are awesome. The story went from like 100 views to almost 3,000 in less than 12 hours. I can't believe it. It's gotten more attention than I thought it ever would. A huge thanks to those who left feedback. And also a huge thanks to all the kind words said. I'll certainly keep dreaming. Also, here's a song. It's probably one of my favorites of all time. Just thought I'd share it so my fellow escapists may hear it.
This year, like I said, I'm having a midlife crisis. I've started a YouTube channel and I'm on a big health kick. One thing that I found is very easy to eat, very easy to prepare, is I heat up chickpeas with chicken broth and tikka masala. And there are two schools of thought about how you should eat beans. Some people believe you should buy the dry beans and soak them, but I tried that and it was a disaster. So I buy canned beans every time. And if I'm opening like 2 cans a day to be on this diet, it is a massive pain in the ass if the can has this jagged metal edge. You know, I'm worried if like little bits of metal are getting into my food, I'm going to slice up my intestines. So I found this special can opener that actually opens the can in a way that is completely safe, no metal's getting in your food, and it is 1,000 times better than any other can opener I've ever used. So if you wind up, opening a lot of cans for whatever reason, maybe you've got a cat or something, you must buy this can opener from my affiliate link.
A good male friend of mine took MDMA for the first time at uni and told a friend of ours, out of all the people I haven't slept with, you're the one I masturbate to the most. It was the first of many stupidly honest things he'd say when high. For those asking, considering he said it to her in a noisy club with huge saucer eyes apropos of nothing, I'd say she took it pretty well. She said something like, what? And we all laughed hard about it later. No harm done. No more throwaway here. I see a lot of suicidal and incest posts, so mine is probably pale in comparison and will stay at the bottom. Anyway, I almost killed my sister years ago. She was about 3 and I was maybe 9, 11 years old. I carried her to the terrace 5 stories high, including the ground floor. And like some dumb fuck, I placed her at the edge of the terrace, above a barricade of sorts. There was nothing to protect her from falling, and directly below, 5 stories down, is a cemented path. I don't remember what was so important I had to do that I left her dangling there, at death's edge. All I remember is, she was starting to sway backwards, towards the ground. Alarm bells started ringing in my head. So I ran and somehow managed to grab onto her just as she was about to fall. I felt my heart racing against my chest. I hugged her for a really long time, too afraid to let go. To this day, I haven't told her she's 25 now, nor my mom. Even typing this still makes me nervous. That height, how a baby's body would have ended up splattered all over the hard cemented pathway, how I could be institutionalized, how my family would have disowned me, how I would have missed watching her grow up, still haunts me. It developed an irrational fear in me of carrying babies around, even if I'm not the one carrying them, or even if there is no height involved. Thanks for all the awesome responses, guys. And yes, I will definitely tell her this one day. Just not yet, still can't see how we'll be able to laugh about it though. Still gives me the chills, the creepy kind. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I used to be a neo-Nazi. I was in the middle of a really bad breakup and for some reason I started going on Chun's Paul a lot. One thing led to another and I wound up on a popular forum for the regional far-right group. Eventually, after going to a few meetings and sort of getting my bones with the group, I was approached by the FBI to inform on their activities. They told me I would have a halfway decent chance of getting an internship at their field office if I did it, and me being the climber I am, I took the job. Eventually, information I provided was used to convict a few members who committed a hate crime a few states over. Haven't seen any of them since because I got arrested with bomb-making materials, and according to my old handler I'm doing 10 years in a prison in my home state, not theirs. I'm getting to be a prominent member of my community and honestly I'm terrified one of them will see me on television or something and either A, come for my family, or B, spill my whole identity and ruin my career. I have guns and my house is basically a fortress, so the first isn't as troubling. But I have political aspirations. The second one fucking terrifies me. Well, this blew up. No, I am no longer a racist. I made a concerted effort to reform my beliefs and I feel I've come a long way. I even went to a Black Lives Matter protest a few weeks ago. I'm not all there yet, sometimes it comes out when I'm drinking, but I work on it every day and I think I've come a long way. Edit 2. I wound up never taking an internship with the FBI. My old handler wrote me a recommendation for another government agency and I wound up working there for a summer. Edit 3. No, I am not in witness protection, although I use my real name, not the fake one I used in the group. Everyone has to understand I was one of many informants in this particular organization. Approximately 1 out of every 3 members was informing in one capacity or another. We had 2 types of informants, people like Leonardo DiCaprio from The Departed who are actual agents and do this sort of thing for a living, and guys like me who would give them little pieces of information to connect the dots. I was only ever a number in their files and I never had to testify against anyone in court. My twin sister and I love each other. We love each other more than siblings should. I'm sure that incest would disgust a lot of people, and that alone would ruin a lot of relationships. Our parents and grandparents would probably disown and disinherit us. Other family would probably break off contact, and we'd lose a good chunk of our friends. I imagine news would spread like wildfire amongst our social circle. Our older sister might be the only person in our family who wouldn't outright condemn us, and I'm not even too sure about that. Sometimes we think about running away to Europe or something, so we can start new lives with fake identities. Since so many people are asking, we're fraternal twins, and I'm a male. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I hit a smallish lottery few mil a little while back and told absolutely no one, family and friends included. I took a bunch of steps to secure my kids' futures and we live a very comfortable but not lavish life. I'm pretty generous with the people around me. I think that they just think I'm doing very well career-wise or something illegal under the table. I justify it by thinking that if this was general knowledge amongst friends and family it would ruin relationships. My priority needed to be my kids. I failed out of school. Twice. Went back at 25, got my bachelor's. Went to law school and now I'm an attorney 30. 6 months is nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's natural to divert off a given path and explore what interests you. But when you find it, go for it. You'd be amazed at the shit you can accomplish if you put your mind to it. Nothing is ever too late. I went back to college at 25. I had 2 years of credits already, although they were shitty grades. Finished 2 more years with awesome grades. Then did 3 years of law school. Background: I fucked around in university because I had no passion or direction. I didn't care. I got some decent grades, but failed to meet the requisite GPA and was academically excused. I continued in community college just to please my parents. I fucked off in one community college too, and later attended a different one. One of the classes I took in community college was a business law class. I fell in love with it. I still remember the day the professor said you could all be lawyers if you want to. And that's all it took. I worked my butt off, raised my GPA and gained readmission into my university. I kicked butt there too, and my 2 years of kicking ass averaged out my shitty past 2 years. In fact, law school places more weight on an upward trend in GPA when looking at admissions. They want to know you'll succeed. If you tell them you fucked up and you're now rededicated, admissions will often discount your earlier grades. Longer story short, did well in law school, got an internship after my first year, interned for 2, passed the bar, and was offered a job. Do I regret fucking up earlier? Nope. I would have regretted doing average and drifting through graduation with average grades, rather than having the chance to finish the 2 years worth of undergrad with enough bang to get into law school. It takes time and a lot of hard work. It seems like an uphill battle in the midst of it to get back on track and make it through. But looking back on it, it was a blink of the eye, and now my degree is for the rest of my life. You can do it too. Don't mean to judge, but I think the entire concept of being anti-zoophil is that animals aren't on the same intellectual level as humans. They aren't as self-aware, and therefore it counts as raping the animal. In the same way kids aren't fully aware and able to give their full consent to sex, making it statutory rape. Animals cannot come to that level of consent, so then people think it's wrong. But I'm not one that can judge. Did you read my shit on the thread? I am actually guilty asset, and no, I'm not fucking Dexter. This is, in a nutshell, the story of what made me almost stab a dude. Don't thank me, that's what a parent is supposed to do. Too many adults get too involved in what hole their kid likes. They should be more worried about their child's happiness and whether or not they're using protection. You have a child. You nurture and love this child. You watch them grow and teach them to count, write, their colors, how to use the bathroom, etc. And suddenly none of those moments matter because your child turns out liking the same gender. I'm sorry, but I can't wrap my head around that. Sorry if I'm going off on a huge rant, it just angers me so much. How could any parent turn their backs on their children just because they have a different lifestyle? Who gives a fuck? Seriously. Ugh, I need to go clean something, I'm all worked up. It's strange how it starts as impossible. Then you think it would be a massive overreaction, but over time, you think about it more and more. It gets to a point where you start to think suicide wouldn't be so bad. You start weighing the benefits against the drawbacks. And you're still far from acting on it, but it's now become an option, perhaps a comforting one. At least that's been my experience with thoughts of suicide so far. I've been in the same position as you for a long time now. I'm wondering if it goes any further or if this is as far as it goes. Throwaway for great reason. When I was about 9, my oldest sister died age 32 and her 2 kids came to live with us. I'm a surprise child, so all of my siblings are much older than me. My nephew and I shared a room. He was just a year younger than me, and around when I was 11 and he was 10, we started doing sexual things. Over the years, we started out dry humping with clothes on, then clothes off, then eventually I started performing oral on him. Round age 13 or 14 we started doing anal. I was always the bottom nearly every night. When I went away for college at 18, we never did it again and haven't spoken of it since. In fact, I don't remember ever talking about it. One of us would just give a gesture to the other that we wanted to fuck and went at it. I'm 21 now and I'm in the process of coming out as gay. He identifies as straight and is in a relationship, but I wonder all the time if it's just for a cover-up. Anyways, we're the only 2 that know about it, and I wouldn't dare tell anyone, not even my closest, most trustworthy, best friend. Sometimes I fear he might tell someone one day. Wow, didn't expect this to blow up the way it did.
Hey guys, do you ever have a problem getting to sleep at night?
Well, I've got the magic pill to cure your insomnia. Much like you, I used to twist and turn all night. But then I discovered that you can take melatonin and valerian root together to get a good night's sleep every single night. I've been taking it every night by my for years and years. I've been taking valerian and melatonin, and this is my life hack to get a good night's sleep and vivid dreams every night. So be sure to click my affiliate links, and I will give you the gift of a good night's sleep.
I am emotionally numb. I always have to fake being happy or excited about things. I guess it kind of sucks because I'm not happy or unhappy, and the only time I'm considerate is when I'm doing something because I know something bad will happen and not because of guilt or a negative emotion of any kind. I sometimes wonder why I exist, but I don't delve too deeply because I just don't care. Wow, I didn't expect this comment to explode like this. I hope everyone understands that I can't possibly go through all of the replies because it would take hours. I'm glad that a lot of people understand how I feel, though. Also, thanks for all of the support, everyone. I got molested by 2 people who lived in my home for 2 years straight. I was 8 that time and the offenders were about 12 years old. For some occasion they lived with me for 2 years. I was also emotionally bullied as well. Not even my parents know, and I don't have the heart to tell them. I suffered emotionally and had serious trust issues, also anxiety as a result. Thankfully, each year I'm getting better and better slowly. This is an odd one, but here goes. My present location. I'm currently estranged from my family and recently got some cash in an insurance settlement. If my mother found out, she'd come running for a share of it so fast that it'd break the sound barrier. Like traveling from the sun would be like, bitch, yo, slow down. I've pretty much had to hide it and become a ghost. Right now all of my mail comes to a PO box and only 3 people know the address of where I'm staying at. And for you enterprising folks who want to track my it routes through a cell tower about a me away from where I actually am. Oh, and unrelated to the estrangement, my female cousin used to fuck. Edit. So this blew up way larger than I ever thought it would have, so I'm going to take some time and answer some of the questions I've gotten here instead of copy pasta hundreds of replies. As far as the estrangement goes, my father is a convicted pedophile. It happened after my parents were married, and I'm my father's only child. My sister and brother are from my mother's first marriage. Those 2 and my mother never got any kind of therapy to help them cope with what happened. As a result, most of the unresolved anger they feel towards my father was taken out on me. I've paid for my father's sins for 30 years of my life. As far as not sharing the money with my mother, she isn't owed any of it. I gave up nursing school and a promising career to take care of her when she was diagnosed with cancer. When I was homeless and had no place else to go, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "So what?" Growing up, she emotionally and verbally abused me, took the $3,000 a month that my father paid her in child support, and spent it on her hobbies instead. I grew up wearing rags of clothes until I figured out how to steal what I needed, and through employment when I was old enough. As far as why I'm hiding, I've tried to get away twice before. The first time I moved half a country away to Florida, she hired a private investigator to track me down. Then she harassed my then fiancé and her family until she dumped me. I'd moved back to where she could mooch off of me. The second time, I moved 50 miles away and she called me on the day, harassing me and everyone else she could, again, trying to control my life and mooch off me. My mother is not a good person. She's been unemployed for over 20 years and lives off my brother and the government. As far as my internet goes, it's a WiMAX connection that hops from cell tower to cell tower and connects to the internet proper at the nearest major city via fiber trunk, 30 miles away. As far as the settlement goes, it was a simple car accident. Dude rammed into my car going 55 while I was stopped. Company truck. He was clearly at fault. The hiding is the tricky part, and I'm sure someone will come along and be all I can find you, mostly because they already are. My legal address is hers, but all of my mail is being double forwarded first to my friend's PO box, and then to mine. I use a burner cell, and the room I'm renting is paid cash under the table. There's a lease, but only 2 copies of it. And the place I'm living at is pretty remote. It's a 20-minute drive to the nearest Walmart, gas station, fast food, etc. And the cousin she seduced me and we fucked a bunch of times. It could be the other person from this thread, but I doubt it because my cousin isn't technologically inclined. No babies, and I had the chance to fuck her again a few years back, but her vag is a no-fly zone due to confirmed herpes. I would also accept Luke as your username. Incest in siblings is a lot more common than people think or want to know. The real problem with incest isn't the taboo of it, it's the genetic risks in pregnancy is why most countries and people are against it. Go to a tax attorney today. Today. The IRS has programs where people can go, file back taxes, and pay reduced penalty taxes. It's very common. But do not, I repeat, do not call one of those skeezy pay off your back taxes firms you see advertised on television. Go to a legit tax attorney, come clean, bring rules and everything, then get it settled. You absolutely will pay lower taxes penalties if you voluntarily make amends than if the IRS audits you and finds what's up.
I turned 36 this year, and I decided to focus on my physical fitness, so I bought a swim club membership. The only problem was, most of the time when I go swimming, I wind up getting an ear infection. So it turns out that normal earplugs, they kind of irritate your ear canal, they don't really work, they don't keep the water out. But there is an amazing kind of earplug. It's called Mack's Pillow Soft Silicone earplugs that, they feel great, they keep the water out 100%, they're reusable, and they don't irritate your ear canal at all, no issues. If you've ever had a severe ear infection, you don't want to experience that again. It can permanently damage your hearing if you're unlucky. So investing in these earplugs is definitely a good idea. Also, when my baby was crying later this year and I could not get to sleep, I used the same earplugs and they worked great. I was able to sleep right next to a crying baby. So be sure to click my affiliate link and purchase some of these Mack's earplugs today.